Okay, welcome everybody. This is Unshackled Live. Today it's gonna be another great show. Yes, it is. Um, Today's panel we have Venom, we have Dubba Phoenix, we got Nordman, we got Ghostface Killer, we got Motan, we got Soul Reaper, and of course David the Douche, and me, Dutch. So for today's shows, we're gonna build a couple new bases. Someone of us is gonna show the YouTube. So everybody that's got a question, just ask away. Um, those questions will come to us, and of course, we will answer them. And I believe today Venom is going to start with building up his base. So let's see how he will do. So how is everybody doing?
I'm doing well. So my critique of this, it's not really a base that I necessarily am going to keep, um, but it's a base that pretty much is going to allow anybody in the mid-level range to uh, to be able to have something usable in events mostly. So I'll start out. I'll show you the basic idea. You can all see it's a circular base. It's centered in the middle of my personal build space. I do not have all the full base expansion, so it also helps people that haven't coined their base expansions all the way to max, like Shadow Killer and many of the others that already have done that. So I'll get rid of these real quick. So you can see to start with, it's a circular design. It's going to have 4 outposts and a center place for the CC. What I wanted to start out with, and this is to help any player, no matter what your base expansion is. You can see mine is roughly, I'll use these mines here. So I have corner to corner here. I have 300 is my next purchase price for my base expansion. So I'm roughly at 50% expansion, I believe, to the best of my knowledge. And the best way that I have found, because these base expansions are not perfectly square, it's an oval, or it's a rectangle.
Never mind. You're good.
It's not yet. So what I've done is the best way I can figure to find the dead center of the base. There's 2 ways. Shadow Killer had a great way, which is in things like Onslaught. If you set up your Twin Titans op, they will automatically spawn from the center point of the base. They don't spawn based on your rally point. Okay, so that's an excellent way if you're in the middle of an onslaught and you want to change your base around during that to make it more defensive. But what I've done is, and you can see here, if I draw a wall sections from corner to corner within my base, you will actually be able to draw out the center point as a square in the middle. All right. Let's do that there. Go full screen here so you can see. That's a little bit better. All right. So now, if you're looking, you can see this opening in the middle. That's actually your center of your base. And that's your position, or at least in my case, where I'm going to be putting my CC when I start building this all up.
That's a nice way to measure it out.
And like I said, it's because it's not an actual square. If it was an actual square, you'd have an intersecting X, and it would be dead spot point center. But unfortunately, the way Kixeye has with all this, it doesn't work that way for us. So I will quickly delete these extra wall blocks because we don't need those, obviously, because I found my rough center point that I wanted. Okay. Now, I only built this design this morning, so it's probably going to take me a little bit to get it back the way it was. I have rough understanding of how I did it, but it's not exactly perfect in my head. So it's pretty much freehand, this base design, but hopefully I'll be able to get a lot of it done in between what I'm doing. The other guys will be talking and helping out.
Okay, I got a question for you, Ben. What sort of design would you go for?
Right now, I don't have a personal design because I'm still trying to learn based on the way that this game has changed when it comes to the Juggernaut and this new air unit that we're coming into having. I don't know how this new air unit is going to affect, base design. What its intention is. Is it going to fly over the center of the base and then drop its bombs, or is it going to drop things as it gets closer to your CC?
I think it could be
based on how the person plays it, and what the overall radius of its explosions are going to be.
I think it'll be a bit like the Titan. As soon as it gets too near to a building, it's just going to wreak havoc.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's what I'm kind of hoping. Okay, so you see my CC is located roughly in the center of where I wanted to start my build. The problem is anybody who's going to build a base setup, there are certain buildings you have to defend if you want to really protect yourself from getting a full 100%. So to do so, I like to use an anti-air unit or anti-air turret. In this case, I like to use a heavy hunter. Most people do. I also want to protect for the buffs that it gives you. If you can protect your go-go bar, if you can protect your factory here. What the hell's the name of that factory? You can also protect a few other buildings. If you really want to protect your thorium, you can protect your thorium, but that's not a big thing for me. I can go out and get thorium anytime I want. But obviously you're seeing you can't fit those in this square. So you're going to have to adjust it and move a few blocks here, there, and everywhere in order to make this work. So what I did was I started out with this original plan, and I decided to add one square to every corner. So if that's the original square, I'd add one out to that corner, one out to that corner, and I go all the way around. Obviously, I don't need to do this entirely because I know what I'm doing because I already did it earlier today. But basically just mimic that all the way around. That'll give me just enough room to add a few more buildings into this center.
It does seem tedious the way you're going about it, but I see your logic.
Well, like I said, for somebody who this is their first time designing, it is tedious. Once you get basically two corners, you can just connect the dots with the way the base editor's designed is. So, yeah. I mean, that's a plus. It's just obviously this first 5 minutes of tinkering it block to block to get the outside angle perimeters correct is time consuming.
I think once you get your parameters of what you're doing, because everyone's in the same sort of boat, like changing their base layouts and trying to figure things out with the Juggernaut and the new air units or the massive dildo that's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yep, let's see, something's off. And this is the only problem I have with this base design editor is the shadowing tends to throw my eyes off. Well, that's what I did wrong. Okay.
Yeah, but can you come off it now?
That was my fault.
It would be nice if we could rotate buildings.
Rotate buildings, and also I would have liked to have seen an ability to really actually store buildings, like store all your metal and oil factories, store your metal and oil storage off screen, the same way you can hide your trophies.
How can you lure resources from your enemy? I mean, if you store them, you can destroy them.
Well, what I mean is just during the base editing process. That's my focus, was the base editing. Doing this design, if I could store away my my resource buildings, it would allow me a lot more visual space. Because when you're trying to design something, especially if you want to do, most bases are better to be designed up in corners, depending on where your map position is. Now, this design I came up with because of Onslaught and PvE and the fact that we get attacked from all four angles. But your typical PvP player is going to attack from a general side, be it the side that his base is on in the map, or the side that his air is going to attack from, where he's located compared to you. Or if you're up against a mountain, he can't obviously hit from that mountainside because you can't put a platoon there. So you'd have to protect, say, your 3 o'clock, your 6 o'clock, and your 9 o'clock because your 12 and 11 are safe. So a lot of this has to do with where your particular base is located on the world map and what you're really defending upon, what enemies are and which direction they're coming at you. When you watch our PvP shows, you see, Shadow Killer and Dutch and all. They'll shout out, "This is the 6 o'clock. He's coming at you from the 9 o'clock," and that allows the person inside to defend a lot better. Oh, come on. All right. So I'll zoom in here. So now you can see I've allotted myself enough room to put 2 large-scale buildings. My hunter, obviously, you're going to.
Why do you put your go-go bar by the CC?
Like I say, you get the go-go bar still gives you a passive buff in defense, similar to your defense lab. Your defense lab gives you a passive buff. These are buildings that you want to try and protect as best you can. The longer they live, the more damage you're going to be able to take from whoever is attacking you.
So the go-go bar gives you at max level 48 extra DPS buff on your base defenders.
48%, that's pretty good.
And your defense lab gives you, I believe, an extra health buff, armor buff. 10%, I believe, extra.
Give me a sec, I'll double check that. Defense platoon takes 17% less damage in combat, but mine is not maxed, so it probably might go up to like 20, 25.
Okay, cool.
See, a lot of people, they don't guard these buildings, and these buildings are very, very helpful. I noticed in the metal 90s, when I kill the go-go bar in the defense lab, it becomes so much easier.
It is, but you cannot protect every building. I mean, we have simply not enough walls for that.
So
So
yeah, we ain't got enough walls for that, but
so you got to make choices. You got to pick what you wanna defend. Pick what you want behind the walls.
That really is the real key. I mean, there's a lot better designs that I could have come up with and researched. I like to look at old medieval castle designs and the way that they did things for pinch points, so that if there's an attacker coming from, say, this direction, you'd have your weapon system set up so they all can target that one part, tank or whatever happens to be coming at you. That, like Dutch always says, or he said earlier today, he likes to have as many things, putting as much gun power on one target. So it's just blast away, instantly dead, move on to the next target. And that would be helpful, but we just unfortunately don't have enough individual wall blocks to do that. All right, so I start out with my center. That's simple. That's what you basically want to start out with, is start from your center and then go like a bicycle spoke and build your defenses off of that. As far as the next step, my personal design, I like to move my towers and bunkers into position. With this design, because of these flat edges, I use those as reference points for my bunkers and my towers. Okay, and the design that I came up with is sort of a 5-point star. All right, now I'm not going to lock these down because some of these are going to be walled in and some of them are not, but it gives me a basic idea of how big I'm going to make this this whole expansion of the base just by little references from my eyes. I also go ahead.
You think of boxing in with the walls and stuff, isn't like the most important maybe the radio tower or a missile bastion?
Missile bastions, yes. I don't have that yet. I have the orbital hammer. I'm still upgrading my defense lab so I can get the Achilles GX also. Right now these rocket silos are pretty much useless unless you have that Achilles GS. So that's something that I don't really worry about. And again, this design, because of my design for this being the onslaught, I put my walls out as far as I could with the few number of wall blocks that I have. So unfortunately, because of that, I don't have spare walls to really box in everything, like box in the CC, box in my orbital hammer, and box in every single one of the 5 bunkers.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's a lack of wall blocks to do everything you want to do.
Yeah,
We do
you
need
also
some more wall blocks.
if you hit the high-end bases, you will always use the missile you have, so you'll kill maybe 3 or 4 of the bunkers anyway. But if you keep your missile bastion or radio tower, that is a huge advantage.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you box in your bunkers and high value base defending buildings, it's definitely going to help against splash damage. If you placing all the walls next to each other, it won't let through splash except the splash of the Juggernaut.
Yes, that is true. But again, also, you have to remind yourself that splash works both ways. If you have walls and they are close to your CC, you don't give yourself a good breath of space between the CC or your weapon systems, the Juggernaut can use those walls, target the wall block, and destroy a huge space, which will take your CC out. So what you're seeing me now do is I use the staggered block laydown system rather than the end-to-end. And I just give myself, I think I did 6, I don't even remember, but I do 6 or so. And that's where I'm going to start with my my outside perimeter wall. I think at this rate, it gives me just enough space to avoid too much damage from something like the Juggernaut. So I just put a little pinpoint V and get rid of all these and remove them out of the way. All right.
Hey, Madam, you want to close your game chat?
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
This way you don't get,
I
this way
forgot
you
all
don't
about
get
that.
people in trouble or whatever.
It's okay. Just get it back out of the way. So my design was, as you saw, it was a circle. It's a pain in the butt to do, but it works out in the end. But basically what I do with my circles is I start with a V in the center line, and I use 50% overlap for 2 blocks. And then I start my inbound 50% overlap in the opposite direction. I mean, anybody who's played War Commander long enough knows how to do this. It's not really any super new technique. But it's like I said, it's time consuming. It's something you kind of have to just sit back and do. But it gets the job done eventually. So I did 10. I want to do 9. I do 9 blocks in each direction. So go this way now. So 50%. And now you'll basically get the starts of the round shape that you're going to start seeing as it goes around. And I probably messed this up, but I'm just going to keep winging it. Because like I said, this is something that I just kind of threw together this morning. It's not something that I've practiced or done a lot of. Once you start your round, you found a pretty much an inline position with the with one of the vertical sides of the base. Then you can kind of just run a straight line off with a couple of blocks. Let's see, I'll do 15 or so each direction, and then you'll go back to completing the rest of your circle by going 50% in and just following it up. Then you get to a point again where you're going to see generally a straight edge, and then you can just run your wall blocks end to end to make the next straight edge. And you can see now it's pretty simple to make a general curve. It's not hard. It's time consuming. You'll have to get your distances right. And some people might want to make this a little bit further out. Some people might want to make it a little closer, depending on how many turrets you have. Obviously, lower level players. I'm playing as a high level player, but I don't have all the high level things. If you guys want to jump off and discuss something, I'll complete the outside circle, so you're not just sitting here watching me do this stupid crap, and then we
No,
can
but this
come
is
back.
what it's for. This is what it's for.
The reason I put this outside perimeter is it slows down the progression of the incoming, unit guys, so that it allows you time. Most of the base designs today, because of the Juggernaut, because of more than likely this new air unit, the Herald, there is not a base design that can't be smashed. Those two units, at least for now, certainly the Juggernaut, you're going to have a flat base. There's nothing you can do. Online, you have a good standing possibility of surviving, but offline, you're flat. So pull your base defenders, hide your resources. Daba has great tricks on that, so that you can store things away for a rainy day, so to speak. But as far as the base goes, just consider it dead. Online, and that's the reason for this, it allows you time. If you can hold your offending player off for an extra couple of seconds, it allows you to maneuver vehicles across the different areas of the base. So you can run your howlers up to the north side, kill off his sandstorm. Run your liberators down to the south side to take out his heavy plat, whatever you happen to have in your base. I tend to use liberators, acolytes, and howlers in my base because they've just controlled. They work well for me. I'm gonna have to count this because I don't know how many blocks I put down.
All right, for those of you that have OCD,
yeah, that's me, sort of.
For those of you that have true OCD that have to have it perfect every freaking time, you can use your other buildings there as a gauge for your distances and your start points, your end points. Just giving you that little tip out there. Most people that I have seen for gauges, they'll use like an oil or metal storage or an oil and metal producer.
I tend to try to use the same object.
Yeah,
because it'll give you a perfect reference every time. If you try to use an oil building over an oil producer, or an oil storage over an oil producer, you can see they have two vastly different external perimeter sizes. Right. So use the same building for all your measurements, and it'll keep everything uniform.
If you want to do something you can basically put anything anywhere, swap around your bunkers, your towers, your heavy floaters, and whatnot. Use your towers and your bunkers as a good gauge. So if I remember correctly, your heavy floaters will fit in the same spot the same footprint as your bunkers and towers. So it's a good reference point for those people that have really bad OCD. Because I know some people, this base design will drive them batty.
Yeah, like you.
No, actually, no.
No.
But I do suffer a little bit of OCD, so yes, it is driving me nuts. But if you get it right, then there's no worries.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, in the scheme of getting this done within a reasonable amount of time on air, doing it, like I say, freehand, sort of, it's not going to be done right, but it'll get done. This is simply a way to express how to do it, not necessarily that it's going to be this fast. You have to play with it.
No. You will have to play. You will end up redoing your base like 3-4 times because you missed a block or something like that.
You just gotta have patience.
Yeah,
well, that's something I don't have.
Something a lot of us don't have.
Yeah.
Well, then you're all cunts, aren't you?
Yeah.
We're not French.
I see right there. You can tell I missed a block somewhere because I'm off on my measurement. Yep. So I'll go back and I'll zoom and I'll figure out where the heck I
messed up.
I lost off. So, and I'm assuming it's probably on this side. Yeah, I could come out. So we'll take this block. here.
Move
And
that
for
one
me, my eyes are not the best. They're not like they used to be.
And
So
especially with the snow, it really fucks with you.
yeah, this winter design effect is really hard on distinguishing the perimeter white lines and distances with the gray blocks. Now this is actually a benefit to people who haven't quite maxed their walls out. Those darker gray walls give you a better sense of where you stand than these gray, these light gray with these yellow friggin' dot things. So.
Yeah, you need to go up one more, I think.
Yeah, you're just a fraction off or a square off or a block. Yeah.
Up on this side?
Yeah.
You mean inward? Because I can move this block.
No, you'd have to go
inward.
outward, yeah?
Yeah. I
You want
think
me to
have
go
to
out?
go
Okay, so it's this
go
block.
Go up one.
I got you. That corner.
There you
That corner.
Oh, download the new Flash player takes forever.
go. The what?
So how are you doing? You got a new CP or PC?
I'm borrowing one off my friend, and it's a bit of an older version, but it's all got the latest mods, but it's just slow. It's just old.
Like you?
Hey, I'm 25 years old. I'm not nearly in my 50s like you are, mister.
What's that in French years?
200?
Un, deux, trois, quatre, vingt-cinq.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Oui.
Si, si, si.
Guys, we're going off topic. Come on. Together.
Hey, I could always do it in German if you want.
No, because then you offend the Germans. Just keep it directed at me. That'll be fine.
How can I offend the Germans? I got German blood in me.
That's how you offend them.
That's when you walk up to a woman and go, "Got any German in you?" And they
Oh,
go, "No."
like-
Want some?
Oh my god.
This
I can picture Mothman using that line.
gotta be on this side too.
Really?
Wow.
You guys went there.
Hey, I'll give you a good pickup one that an old female friend gave me. Walk up to the girl in the bar and go, "Nice shoes, wanna fuck?"
Use that. It works.
What were you saying at us being off topic? On topic.
You're gonna get two responses. They're gonna say no. They're gonna slap you in the face, or they're gonna say, "Let's go." Anyway, do that at a strip club.
Let's talk about base designs.
All right. No, this isn't perfect.
One thing I hate One thing I hate designing with bases is if I get all the way around and the walls don't match.
Yeah, like
And they're like, and it's
Like
not like enough.
and that's my
Now-
problem. So now I'm gonna go back.
See how he's got a hole there? Use that as a hole. Set that hole as a gap for set that up as a trap point, because in my base I have two holes that my walls didn't line up, so I got my mines all there, and they that's a trap point for people when they ruby their stuff. It goes for the hole usually.
Well, like I say, the other thing that I do when it comes to that,
That'll fix this hole.
yeah. The other thing is setting buildings into corners. So if you have a hole like that gap that I created right there, if you set a building, it hides the fact that you have a gap there. It doesn't matter what the building is, whatever you prefer.
Not only that, though, with the gap that you've got there, you can put like a bunker there or something that'll
Yeah.
cover up that hole. So it makes no difference if you can't line it up.
Yeah.
Just buy a giant chastity belt, throw it on your base, and you're good.
Yeah, pretty much.
Go ahead and place a wall. One wall. That's all you need. There you go.
Hey guys,
Fixed.
are we
No
gonna
holes.
test you spacing out when we're done?
Charlie
All right,
can.
The other thing about this base design is, and we're talking about the lack of walls. I only have 82 wall blocks left in this, which is, I'm sure, different than what I had before, but it doesn't really matter. So it takes a considerable number of walls to go and corral something like, for example, this bunker. So I'll go around and I'll block off this bunker. Now it's good to protect your bunkers not only for ground units coming in to shoot at them, but missiles that are dropped to get rid of them, which everybody tends to use missiles. If you have a missile bastion, or you have enough Tempests or Liberators and other items to get in and kill the missiles, that's epic. Missile bastion's the better bet because even the untargetables will be not usable. Unfortunately, if you don't have that, like me, untargetable missiles, you're pretty much screwed. You can't do nothing about them. So though, a good player will use them against you and wipe your base defenses, nick off the ones they have to get rid of early on.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Where your placement of your CC is, would you put some more walls around there?
If I had more wall blocks, I would actually surround the CC separately from the outside perimeter. So this would have been encompassed, then I would have had the outside perimeter. But unfortunately, we just don't have enough. 280 is not 350. It just doesn't, when I did this design this morning, I realized I don't even have enough to surround all of my towers and bunkers. So I feel sorry for Dob because he loves working with numbers. And if his numbers are off, that's it, he's done. Yeah. But what I've learned is this. If the two edges of a wall are touching, it gives you as much protection as if you have 3 in a diamond. So a way to save extra wall blocks on the hidden areas that your attacker wouldn't see normally. So say this corner here, and the backside. When a person's looking at this base and attacking you, they don't really notice that you're missing 3 little wall blocks, but that's going to benefit you later because 3 wall blocks from this surround, 3 wall blocks from this surround, 2 or 3 from here and here. Now you've got 9, 10 extra wall blocks that you can use to circle something else or to add a little bit of a wall in front of something else. So anywhere you can steal. Go ahead.
I was gonna say something that I do is, like behind your CC where the big part is, I yank walls from behind the CC.
A lot of players do that.
It'll look like it's full, but it's not. You have to kind of play around with it. But if I actually need walls,
I suppose you could sacrifice a wall for using a radio tower as a block.
Yeah, and the other thing, I'll do it this way. I'll show you. If you go out with your solid end-to-end walls, knowing that the rest of this is going to be hidden, you can go back and use that staggered wall system here. Now you've saved yourself 2 extra wall blocks, or even 3 if you wanted to take all 5 of them out. But the thing is, the reason I don't do that is I want to make sure that if I'm attacked from this side, especially because I do have, even this design, it's pretty compact. It's not as spread out as you might want for the Juggernaut, but it's compact enough to really kind of take on the anti-aircraft stuff. But the reason is I don't want somebody who's attacking the tower here, the splash damage, to start damaging my Hunter missile or put a little damage onto my CC. So I continue to have a solid wall block protection behind, just in case that missile, or they go to hit the CC or the orbital hammer, and I don't want that splash to translate out and take out, this bunker or that bunker. So it's a cross between protecting yourself from splash damage coming in, as well as protecting other things from the splash damage radiating outward. If that makes any sense, I don't know.
Yes.
It's kind of it sounds funny because you're actually expecting to take damage. You're protecting yourself so that what you get destroyed, only destroys a certain thing. All right. I'm just gonna, because this is pretty much set up, I'm just gonna start moving around defensive weapons. Obviously, you'd use the extra wall blocks to corral in the items you want to protect better. And like in my case, I would probably leave the bunkers unprotected, and I would do the 3 towers that I have, because the strongholds, as they are, have a higher health than my towers. And I like my towers because what I have equipped in them gives a very good range As you can see, I can go all the way out to my outside perimeter.
How far is your bunker range or your stronghold range? So you got a good all-around area of protection with just the bunkers alone, let alone with the main defending guns too.
Yeah, another thing I like to try, obviously I can't do it in this expanded, blown-out view, but I like to try to have it just touch every corner. So in this example, right now would be perfect to me, because even though somebody coming from that southeast side would be able to get in without getting clipped by the bunker, at least I know that once they've gotten past that wall, say it's Liberators, and they've crossed over the threshold after they've destroyed the wall and walked in to try to hit the CC, that stronghold is now attacking them. I try to do as best I can when it comes to that aspect of circling and encompassing as much protection. And that's the other reason of the 5-point star. If you can cover in an X pattern the 3 external towers, and you can see they cover every edge from left, right, left, and then obviously top to bottom. And then you cover over or crossover, like Crossfire, the other 2, you have a very good,
Area of effect.
floral effect area coverage.
Um,
All right. I don't know if you want to start yours, Dutch, or just me explain why I put certain
well,
turrets in certain places.
I'm just curious what kind of units you would use in that base design for defense.
Okay. Well, obviously you would run your turrets around. I use a lot of avalanche turrets, so that covers a lot of the ground and air. Everybody's pretty much doing that. With the new Hades coming into play, I've actually switched over to AA plasmas. I think they're going to be good because they're air only targeting, so that'll help with the new Hades. Hopefully, I've decided to go with max level overwatches, and that primarily I put on the corners here for acolytes and for SF if people still use SF at all. But as far as the units in my actual defense, what I tend to go with, if I'm online, I put my Jericho in because of the tremendous buff he gives. I use workshopped howlers. These 2 here are my 2 favorites. I'll explain that in a second.
I guess you get Bloodhound rounds on them.
Something else. It's surprising. Now, again, I'm explaining this is more or less for a PvE setup, not really a PvP setup. But the reason why I like these 2 with the stars is the schematic on them includes charged ordnance. Now, you all know there's a lot of units that are coming in our bases, but their Achilles heel is still the fact that they can get shocked. So when something comes in and I know it's a shockable unit, I'll run one of these 2 howlers with a support howler, and I'll run them out to the corners and I'll shock them while the one howler's shocking and doing damage, the other one's doubling up on the damage. It also has the Bloodhound rounds. I tend to keep more of my high DPS on other schematics and basically use the star one strictly as a shock and stop kind of tactic. But open up mine.
Do you hold any charge ordnance in your bunkers, or?
I do. In both my bunkers and my towers, I have. I'll open one up. I'll show you. So I know it's old school.
No,
my towers are not full. They're only 500 space, and right now I'm running at 485. When I upgrade them and max them out, I'll be able to put more in. But I run the heavy operator with charge ordnance U6, and I run a lead commando for the distance, for the range. And then of course I have an acolyte, because the acolyte's power of taking down heavy tanks with that railgun style weaponry is good. 88,000 DPS is a benefit. And then I run a liberator it doesn't really matter for me what my Liberator has. I just had some spare ones, and I throw one in each bunker. This top one is a little special. I'm not going to give that up. Strongholds, again, the heavy operator with the charged ordnance. And the reason is he fires rapidly enough that it'll keep things shocked. I mean, you can put it on something like a commando, but it's, to me, that lobs the charge over, and then it waits for the reload and then relobs the charge. I'd rather have a machine gun that's holding the person there, dead in his tracks.
What I've been hearing, somebody asked me, said, why don't you use your charge ordnance on an infiltrator, because the splash is greater. But the infiltrator, he's got a low fire rate and is not capable of keeping a unit shocked all the way through.
Yeah. And that's exactly why I go with, the operators, the heavy operators. Other than that, they're pretty much a useless unit. Operators in general are useless. Heavy operators, the only reason is because back in the day when SF was still good, that's where I put my charged, and I just never scrapped them. If and when they come out with a new unit, like a Liberator or an Acolyte, if that can be equipped with a charged or a charged ordnance style spec or tech, then I would probably switch over to that, certainly, for just the overall fact that that's the new, more durable unit. So anyway, like I said, with this circle design, you can just run out your units in a circular pattern. Obviously, it'll give you good coverage from pretty much all directions.
Let me move my base.
Yep, I'll let you, because yours is a much more intricate design and better for PvP. Like I said, the only reason for this is it gives you distance from your CC to the outside perimeter, which gives you time when taking on wave after wave of onslaught, for example, or whatever you happen to be going up against.
Let me go to screen share.
And I'll stop sharing now.
Destroyer, I'll put you in a timeout. You deserve that. Just enters the chat and drops the C-bomb on me. How rude.
I will go now for a center base. I will not measure it like Venom did. I just do it on a close eyesight. The reason why I go for a center base now is because that's against the Juggernaut. Because if you're moving a base to an edge, then all you need to do is deploy your Juggernaut there, fire a shot, retreat it, and you get the least amount of damage for a lot of damage to a base. So that's why I'm choosing for a center one.
I don't see you on the tube. Let me refresh. Could be me.
Am I presenting?
Nope. I mean, you're presenting, but it's not coming up on YouTube.
I gotta present them all.
Yeah, I'm on my phone, so I can't do it on my phone.
I just took you off present and represented you, so maybe it'll work.
We are a few seconds behind, so.
Okay.
Yep, I'm waiting. It's showing Venom.
Let me mute myself here.
All right. So
just keep going, Dutch, and we'll catch up.
I just keep going. What I'm going for is I like to keep it compact. I know it's not ideal always for the Juggernaut, but I think the best way to take on against a Juggernaut is to kill it before it can shot a fire at you. And I think there is really not a 100% proof design yet against the Juggernaut. Mm, So, well, I'm a little bit off there. Yeah, there it is.
Is it worth doing onslaught, or is it just too bugged?
As far as I
I
know,
don't
they
know.
fixed it. They fixed it. The thing. Lag is probably still an issue, but as far as as far as stuff actually working and onslaught working and all that, it should be working fine now.
Well, that's the
A lot of
second auto
people.
defeat I've got, so
You
maybe
know,
one
I'm
of them.
pretty curious about the onslaught because I hear a lot of stories. Been able,
Wave 35 and up starts to become a bear. 39 is a pain in the ass.
yeah, that's what I'm looking
40,
out
40
for.
is easy, but with the right units, howlers and whatnot, the 39 became really easy.
I just stopped at 30 because I don't need any prizes.
The tech is worth it at the end.
Oh yeah,
Wave
that's
35 and 40, the tech is worth it.
that's like 15 range tech and 15 speed tech, but more importantly, 15 range tech.
Uh-huh.
Is it really the range that is most important because the other one makes you unshockable?
As we're talking about the Liberators,
Yeah.
Yep. Now the
because you got range versus speed, if I'm not mistaken. If I think the other one's speed.
And concussion.
Concussion is
Concussion.
Anti-concussion, I believe that the
Is that for?
Underworld one has.
Hang on, I'm checking that.
so many people
Yeah, so
they use this
speed
electric.
and concussion.
So do you want the range or do you want that concussion?
Because I thought the concussion was the middle one.
No, it's all. Hang on, I'll tell you in a second what it's giving out.
But
Yeah, it's indoor. Oh, okay. Immune to concussion. All right, so yeah, those are good too. Then I
Yeah.
never noticed the immune to concussion part. Okay.
Depending on what you put your range tech on, it's good for bunkers and towers.
Yes, exactly.
Some base defenders, if you want to put them on there in flats, it's good. So
Because I use electric and many other people use that also.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you get target practice, which is the plus 50 range.
Yep.
And then you get the endurance training, which immunity to concussion, and
Oh, that worked.
speed by increased movement speed by 30%.
So if you put the range in your towers, and if you have someone else in your guard, you put a concussion on.
Mm-hmm.
So Dutch, why do you have the gold dude up there?
I use that as a measurement because it has the same footprint as the anti-missile bastion.
There you go. Also, the if you happen to have an orbital hammer and you're thinking for the future, if you don't happen to have the missile bastion, the orbital hammer and the Tesla should have the same footprint as well.
Yeah.
They all have the same.
Because I remember I was doing a base design and I didn't have my missile bastion yet, and so I made the orbital hammer just for the footprint because it doesn't cost that much chemicals or resources or whatever it uses.
My orbital hammer is still in my defense weapons. I haven't used it at all.
And Dutch, when you get a chance, don't forget to restart your tech center. Looks like he stopped.
Oh yeah. Cool.
You can't give the tech center a break. We got to be slave drivers.
Yeah, I know.
Get to work.
And for those that want to know, for the Fury, the last level 9 to 10 is 5 days.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Can't wait to go there.
Oh yeah.
Now after that's done in 4.5 days, now I will be going back and forth between the Juggernaut and the Vindicator.
I'm still waiting for my Juggernaut. 5 hours for level 20.
I'm thinking about taking Sulako's advice and just getting them all to 7. All these new units to 7.
That wasn't Sulaco.
Or whoever it was.
Wrong
Was that wrong
thinker.
thinker?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Because there's just too
Wrong
much crap
thinker
in there.
said, what are you going to say? Wrong thinker said that they would work great there. Tell me.
I'm gonna say this, Dubba. You go ahead and you do that, and good luck with it.
I hear moth and vaping.
Hey, I'm not what do you call it?
That was me. It's up yours.
Ideally, I'd like to get a max, but I got Juggernaut now. This new Herald, so I'm just gonna get him up to 7 and hope for the best.
Another 30 levels of another unit.
Touch.
Yeah.
If I put a missile now on your drone silos, will they also get your bunkers?
No.
No, they shouldn't.
No, the walls are to absorb the splash, so he should be fine.
Cool.
Now, there's one other thing. When you're doing your turrets, you have to keep in mind certain things. For example, I have 2 turrets that are actually, and as silly as it sounds, I have 2 turrets that are actually the insulated turrets that are unshockable. So if people come at me with, shock or either shock ward on their units, or they come with the spec op for shock, those 2 turrets will continue to fire. Also, and this goes to the walls, there are the armored turrets, turret mounts, platforms, I guess you could say, and the reinforced platforms. Both of those do considerable help to splash damage. They're not nearly as good as the walls, but they will fill in certain blanks. Again, talking about, when you just don't have enough wall blocks. So if you can play that balancing act, that also is beneficial to whatever base design you happen to come up with.
So another question: if I target one of the bunkers, I will not affect the drone silo. Those
Nope, you shouldn't. That's one benefit of having everything walled around. Because if you don't, like right now, I guess Dutch doesn't have a missile bastion, so if somebody were to come attack him, you could just mav the heck out of it. And obviously you don't want that.
Yeah.
And so that's why, if you do take a mav, you want them to use as many mavs as you want them to use the most amount of mavs. So put the walls there to kind of. Now it looks like. Never mind. I thought you were putting the turrets inside those little gaps there.
No.
On the corners.
Well, I already got the footprint, so. No, I will do it a little different.
Oh, dear.
All right.
The gaps you have now are ideal because you could put all your floating turrets in between them.
Yes.
Because in the fighting today, most of the high-end player, they have 4 of the missiles. They take out 4 of the bunkers. So that leaves 1 then, if you make them compact like Dutch do now.
Yeah, they'll take the last one out with an Oni or a couple of night owls to get that last one dead.
Oh, in months, I finally was rewarded a Raining Blood spec op in a base.
Cool.
So that was my prize for today. So Raining Blood, Onis. It's another attacker's benefit use weapon in these bases.
I've mostly been getting Serious Tail the whole time.
Well, hey man, everything else I've received in the last couple of months has been Bacon Brigade, uh, the freaking what is the resource 50% and 40%? That crap. So I'll take one awesome green op when I can
I,
get it.
I still use those options to attack those spaces just for the fun of it.
You know, you had to wonder how they come up with the name Bacon Brigade.
Actually, you're going to thank the guys on this panel and Skipjack and all that. I mean, that was something that the community and the show put in the forums, and Kixi ran with that. We had this whole bacon. So
You can't go
We're
on
all a
with
bunch of
extra
crazies.
What they
That's-
really should do is that they should open up so you can maybe have like 30, 40, 50 of the spec ops like you have in Battle Pirates.
yeah, well, you know, I talked about that in a previous show. I said instead of you having the three separate ops, defensive, offensive, and whatever the third one is, and then opening it up, and all of them are in that same box, and they all share the same pop-up. If each individual one would open up their own separate pop-up, in which case you'd have, how many is there, Daba, in each one, not including the overflow?
So you got 12. Like 12 total spec ops, and then the overflow is 1.
Yeah, so if you were allowed 12 defensive, 12 offensive, and 12 whatever it's tactical, I guess it's called. I think that would be awesome. So each time, if you open up the circle, you'd have 12 circular spots come out. If you opened up the shield, you'd have 12 shield-shaped spots come out in that pop-up in your inventory. So
That would be nice, allowing us to save up more.
you know, and not only that, I mean, look, I'll be honest, I'm not the most wise player. I mean, that's evident with a lot of things that I do on the show and talk about. But there's always times where you've gone on a run because you've had to collect resources and you're hitting 65s and 65s and 65s and you're collecting your oil and your metal, or you're, you know, even if you're weak on your air, like I've had to use micro healed units, and I've gone back to hitting 35s and 30s. And 30s actually give out better spec ops and better resource payout than a 35. So you're going through and you're hitting one base after the other, and you're on this long run, and you don't realize that your spec ops inventory is full, and you're just wasting away. You're getting the pop-up saying, you know, no resource or a spec op resource, but it doesn't show anything because you've already filled up your inventory and you haven't scrapped what you have in stock or in your overflow. So giving yourself that extra ability, you wouldn't fill up all on, because as it is, you fill up between the shield, the circle, and whatever the other shape you want to call it is, the spade, shield, spade, and circle. If you had specific inventories just for the spades, as the spec ops get rolled out in the rewards, you're not going to always get a spade. So you're going to have space where you might have 8 spades and 7 circles and 5 shields, but you have the capacity for 12 of each. So your next spec op that drops, oh, it's another shield. Oh, you got room. You're less likely to be actually losing out on valuable spec ops that might actually come at you. And that would be if Kix. Go ahead.
You cannot find any valuable spec ops anymore, really. You have to buy them, the ones that you really need.
Well, no, I mean, I've gotten, like I said, today I got Raining Blood. I've gotten Terrible 2. I've gotten, you know.
Where did you get Terrible 2 from?
That was a 35.
Wow. I didn't think that those were in there.
It's not common. It's not. It maybe just once in a while you're lucky enough to get a base that it was in that queue for that rollout.
Okay.
All the spec ops are out there. The Terrible 2s, the Single Titan, the one at defensive base.
Yeah, pretty much everything is still out there. It's just the drop rates, the mathematics.
Master Thief is still out there.
Yeah,
it's
I'm waiting for that.
The only one of the good ones I get is the Raining Blood. But using the Raining Blood, you know, that was fun before they fixed it. Then you can just jump and take those 50 or 55 watts not. But
yeah, the CC onlys.
Yeah, but now
I'd love for them to come back out.
for 5 or 6 minutes before you can use it again. That's so boring.
You just made David very happy having the ability to say that he wants to have those come back out.
I want the
We all
55s.
do. We all want them to come back for another run for us.
55.
Fix, I will kill my heir doing all of them.
Well, look, here's my thing, and I was going to say this is if they put in what I just said, expanding the number of spec ops you can hold, that realistically makes up for the very poor drop rate because it gives you that buffer that you're not losing the spec op because you didn't realize that you were full and now it's gone to waste. So, this gives you a little bit of an ability to to save up and get the good ones when it does finally hit. It's like pulling 5 one-armed bandits at a casino rather than just sitting in front of one. You're changing your odds, and because the math and Dr. Phil's favorite word, random number generator, the way that they run out these spec ops and these prizes is so screwy and so terrible in the percentage rate and the drop rate. At least giving us the ability to hold more and not waste them, it kind of makes up for it in a way. It's a way that they could appease a lot of players in my mind without doing anything drastic to the game that would be detrimental to their bottom line or their analytics. I don't think it would in the grand scheme of things.
Well, what I realized, especially in the last few commands, you don't have to do much effort before you start getting infamy. And you get so much point now. I'm a Gold Division 2. I get 110k medals per week. And then when I think about the times you run around with a raining blood to take those boring 55s and you get like 3 or 5k medals and whatnot.
It was 6,000 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, 6,000. You take 10 of those, and that means you have a 6-minute relapse on each, and that's 1 hour only that, and then extend it for like 500k Thor, and you have another also 2 hours. Just go in and out and hit those boring 55s. I'm really glad that I have infamy, and I can get from there. And sometimes they have those 90 with 30k, and that's even much more fun than those 55, my opinion. But it's much easier to get medals now than it was before, I think.
We got someone out on YouTube saying that the 45 intel bases, he's gotten 4 of the Raining Bloods. He says he's getting a drop rate of about 1 rare up every 8 to 9 bases. So that might be something beneficial to start grinding up. You're helping your clan by getting the intel points, and then you can help yourself potentially to a new rare up.
That's awesome. Thank you. I unfortunately can't benefit from the intel points, but that's awesome information for me to go hit them for the possibility of a better payout of ops. Totally.
So if you,
who was that who said that?
I think with the bank up, if you find that, I think you can get right to the CC with it. And
I have the
it's out on YouTube.
That op, whatever it's called, freaking Rolling Thunder. The new Rolling Thunder. That's another thing. They had, they changed the ops around, but didn't change to new names. So you get confused between the original Rolling Thunder of Mega Tanks and the new Rolling Thunder, a recent rollout of Rolling Thunder, which is the Vanquishers. Yeah. So.
So I always remember Rolling Thunder as Megas.
Mm-hmm.
And back then they were actually good.
Shields actually worked.
Well, that's the Vanks that's got the shields, but yeah. All right, so as you guys can see here, Dutch has kind of got a symmetrical base going on.
Oh my god, his OCD's kicking in.
Oh.
It's
And that's
got more
really
block.
I already knew I was spending too much time trying to do mine. I didn't want to take up the entire show because mine is a very consuming design, and it's not really good for PvP. But you get the gist of it, I hope, for the lower and mid-level players that would possibly benefit from that design, and the PvE players that would benefit from the design. I hope you got the gist of it, and then you just make it your own.
It'll definitely benefit me. My base sucks as it is now.
Oh, man.
Well, you're like me. You still have a lot of upgrading to do on certain things. None of us, myself, you, we're not in the scope of like Daba or Dutch, who have pretty much everything set up in a way that's perfectly designed for them. They know what they want and how they use it, and they're excellent at knowing how attackers are going to come at them. I just kind of wing it. I just throw things together, hope for the best, see how it acts, how it reacts, and pray that I can tweak something here and tweak something there and make it a little bit better.
I'm going to have to test my base out, see, because usually when I'm attacked, I'm attacked offline.
Well, here's another thing, and I want to say this, and it's very important. Everybody here has gone through the go-go bar testing. I really don't like that. That's good enough to test how the blast radius of something like your Juggernaut or the flight pattern of something might be. But when it comes to getting attacked by ground units, there is absolutely zero substitute for having a friend deploy from each one of the deploy points with different styles of weaponry so that you can locate the optimal placement of mines, the optimal placement of hidden outside troops like liberators in the corners to take out air. If you don't have a player actually deploy, and I don't mean just come up, deploy once from the north, once from the south, multiple times deploy from that spot and see where the units, where the computer generates the unit image. Because the go-go bar does not always give you the best locations of where the spawn point units actually spawn from.
It's also not smart enough.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. Having a friend who's willing to. I mean, this is what I used to do back when I was a 34. I would have a friend come at my base with a full platoon of nothing but ERMs, and he would deploy them, and he would move one ERM into a certain spot, and I would be able to locate the outside edge radius of where my turret would be effective. And then I could know from that where I'd have to move my tower or my bunker or my machine gun or whatever it was. Or back in the day, it was still, mortar turrets and all that kind of stuff. It was the best way, and it gave me an exact measurement, not just a guesstimation by whatever the crazy screwed up, and we all know it's screwed up, artificial intelligence system that they have running in the game. The UI AI in this game is messed up. It's just horrendous. So having a friend willing to sacrifice instant repair units to spend a day with you, and you go and spend a day with them or an hour or two, whatever you need to do, is one of the best things you can do. And that unfortunately is one of the reasons why getting into a good clan, get into a clan that's not all high levels. Don't get into a clan that's nothing but 46s and 48s. Get into a clan that has everyone from, a 5 to a 50, so to speak. Because you'll get, no matter what your level happens to be, you'll get a good number of information from players who have been in the game long enough to have ranked up to a 48 or a 50, and you'll get the ability to learn from what they've learned over the time that they've played it, because no two players play the same way.
That's true. But the one thing that is really important in this game is that online and offline are two big differences anyways. You know, in Battle Pirate, your base can stand by itself when you are asleep, but in this game, are you not online, then most bases can be taken anyways.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Now, players like Dutch and Dark Shadows there, and you know, there are just some players where their base designs and the level of their turrets and the spacings that they've come up with, they're perfect, and they know exactly, you know, how to be very defensive even when they're not online. It works out well. But then there's other players like me. It doesn't matter what I put up. I seem to not understand how, because I'm not a PvP player personally, so I don't understand how to get attacked. So I tend to place things in a way that end up to be very easy for a person attacking me to pick off one by one without taking as much damage. However, when I'm online, I'm an excellent defender. So I can typically do pretty good damage, or at least if you're going to flatten my base, you're going to go home with a lot of repairs too.
But you know, if you go for a high-end base, you are willing to throw in whatever you have, and if you succeed, you're happy, and then you can just wait the day to repair your shit.
Mm-hmm. That's what I did today. I mean, I took it upon myself to actually attack a friendly player, a person I have a lot of respect for, and somebody who everybody should know by name, but Troy from the wiki, who does the great wiki and tries to keep up with all the crazy shit Kixeye throws at him, which he always has a problem trying to keep up with new releases and new information. So if you're ever out there and you have information, screenshots, if you catch yourself in a preview server for a unit or an event, and you can write down some information, take some screenshots of the units, and I mean, with the gold that they give you, show the rough estimates of the progression of the DPS and everything. Send that information over to Troy on his wiki. Find him, friend him, send him a PM. Obviously explaining it that it's from the preview server if it is, because those numbers always change. Yeah. But he needs all the help he can. But I took it upon myself. He happens to be in my sector, and I wanted to see, you know, other people's designs. And he's always been one who had a pretty good base design. And I went in and I attacked his base, and he did a lot of good damage on me. I flattened him, but I took a lot of damage. So, you know, and I used that again. I used my lower level Juggernaut in his base, but I wanted to see about angles. And the only way to really do that and do it effectively is not to go bar your base, but to take your unit into another base, somebody else's personal design, and then go into another base with a different design and different units and different setups. Because you're looking at Dutch. Dutch has 99.9% avalanches. I don't. I have, well, I used to have a bigger montage of things. I have microwaves, I have avalanches, I used to have the flame-throwing turrets, you know, I had AA flame. So
the one thing I did now after Juggernaut is that I put in 4 of the cryo. That's it. And other than that is that ordinary avalanche.
Mm-hmm.
But also I have 50% of each floating and that other turret
and
platform.
That's another thing that people need to understand also. When you're in a war zone or you're in a rave, know your enemy. You've got a clan, you know, I'll use, because it's here on the panel with us and all, the Raid clan or the Unshackled clan. A lot of these clans, they do these, and we mentioned it before, you do the, you know, the 40s and all for the raid accomplishments, and you get those buffs. So you're going up against a clan where they get a huge bonus in damage on your base, or they get a huge buff in protection for their base. So you might be able to go into one level 40 with your Big Papa Platt and flatten the hell out of him. But he's a lone player, or he's in a raid, a group that isn't like raid, doesn't have those buffs running 24/7, doesn't have enough players that are high enough skill level to be able to do that and keep rolling through and collecting all the necessities to get them running. And then you go into a level 34 that's in that clan, and you can't figure out why you're getting smashed. So know your enemy.
If you're looking here, this is what I like. If you take the bunker, it covers the whole base and even beyond it. So if somebody with the unit is coming at your base, all 5 bunkers are taking a shot at it. Also, like 3 rail launchers, rail guns. So that means a lot of firepower. And why I like to have these is because they slow the units. And it's working also against the Juggernaut. Maybe I should have more, but usually if I go into attack, you watch your attack and you watch what's going on in your base, and you will learn from it, and slowly you will change things, and you will get your base better every time.
Yeah. So I like that design a lot better. That's close to what I used to have. My worries though are, it's still, you still get to this point where how far out do you really have to expand to really get the ultimate benefit, where if the Juggernaut landed on one of those wall blocks by an avalanche, how much damage is it going to radiate towards the wall blocks for your bunker?
It might damage the bunker, but I don't know if it's going to destroy it.
But Dodge, have you been hit by a fully ranked Juggernaut?
I'm not sure if it was fully ranked, but I've been attacked by several elite Juggernaut, and it's also really depending on who is operating it, because there is a different way to operate it, and if you don't know how to use it, then you will lose it.
Yeah. I've been close to losing it. I was pretty close losing it, but I have used it every time I hit bases. But it's awesome strong,
If you are putting your Juggernaut on Ruby or aggressive, you're wrong.
Yeah, I never do.
I should have libs in front of it to protect it.
Yeah, I put shit in front, and I control my Juggernaut to decide where it's going to land the shells.
Yeah, I will run a Growler off to a far edge and have the Growler drones heading into the base. That'll distract a lot of the avalanche or overwatches, avalanches, some of the ground units that are on aggressive, and I will run Legion drones and Liberators in front and then I will run my Juggernaut behind all that.
Yeah, because I have mine maxed. And that is a beast.
Mine is still a work in progress. It's getting there slowly but surely. I'm on a hiatus, so I didn't coin any of the levels to start with, and I'm not going to coin any of the levels.
I used a lot of the gold that I bought with that half price and whatnot in Christmas around that time.
I was thinking of buying the gold, but it passed by mine.
Mine is level 30, and it has damage of 1.2 million.
It's really 20 days to go. It's not even so much the damage with that unit, it is the range. That's what you're going for when you upgrade it. It's the range. Because even at level 1, the damage is substantial. It's just you just die because it doesn't have the health and it doesn't have the range, so you just walk into death. Once you get up to the elites or to the the maxed out level status, then you've got the range and the health. You just walk through bases.
Yeah. My max range now is 540.
540, that's nice range for the Juggernaut.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the tech.
Oh, damn.
If you're not online, it's hard to protect against it. Really. if you're online, I was hit, but that was not as strong as mine. But actually, my boulder did quite good against it. But then again, he didn't use his electric. My boulder has been butchered when they use his electric.
Yeah, online you stand a chance of killing it, surviving, and whatnot. Offline, kiss it goodbye.
Yeah.
If you're seeing a Juggernaut wheel in, there's actually one thing you should do. It's bring enough firepower and take it down before it fires its first shot. But you have to time it well because you don't want to bring your units too far in the open.
Yeah, with howlers.
Howlers
try to
are
bring in-
great. Are great against it. Yes.
I think though, when I'm looking at your base now, Dutch, if I come in like 3 o'clock or something, and I point at the first wall with your cryo there, I will take out a lot of shit just with that only shot there. When you're not online.
I know, and that's the down part having a base like this. But I also think if you spread it out too much, you will weaken your base too. And
Yeah, not enough firepower.
and there is right now there is no base anti-Juggernaut base, and the thing is you need to be online. And it's what I say. If you see the thing coming in, you shouldn't wait until it's fired. You should bring your units out with the right unit with the right firepower and take it down as fast as you can.
Yeah.
Problem is, the person playing might have other units to protect it as well.
But sometimes I'm not really happy about the railgun. I think they.
I have 4 railguns, or actually now I only have 3. I have put in on one Overwatch, but I think I will go down to only 1. I'm upgrading that flak thingy now, so I'm gonna have at least 1 or maybe 2. Waiting for that flying dildo.
Yeah, I think it will be short range, dropping bombs like.
Panel.
Yeah, but it has to have a big health like the Juggernaut, because if it's gonna take, if not, it's just useless.
Yeah.
I don't know, because if you're taking a look at the list, what's not capable of hitting it, that means your avalanches cannot hit it. Your bunkers with liberators cannot hit it. I'm not sure if a watchtower is able to hit it. I don't think so, but I'm not 100% sure. So
the units inside, it's more about the units inside the watchtower.
Yeah.
So
So-
you'd have to have stingers or something that just hits air.
Yeah, so stingers, well, they don't do much damage.
No.
You got what else you got? Well, you got a hunter. So
Probably, yeah,
if-
the hunters will be good.
if people, they are probably going to change because they want more anti-air, focused on air. So that means they have to weaken the base elsewhere, and that makes it better for you to attack it over the ground.
So they're gonna have to balance it out even more now.
Yeah. But I think the Hades will do good against the Herald because they are fast. They got pretty nice DPS. I think if you got them hidden somewhere and you see that flying dildo coming in, you have to attack it from the rear. I think I never tested, but it's I think that will be good.
I only have 1 Hades. That's not gonna be good.
And the same goes for the Juggernaut. I think if you're using Vindicators with the 200% vehicle buff, I think that will be doing good too against the Juggernaut. So. So, Dobby, you want to set up some tunes?
I'm working on it right now. I'll be ready in a moment. But go over what kind of units you would use in that base, like whatnot.
In my base,
Yeah, like
well, I am going to put in my Balder, the expert one. I will be hide it somewhere. I will put in a couple howlers, of course Tempest, and what I'm going to change, instead of what I had previous, I want to add Vindicators and some Hades. So that will be it. I think the Hades will be good against the Herald. I think the Vindicator is good against the Juggernaut, and Howlers are also good against the Juggernaut. And Tempest, of course, they're still animals. They are air shredders, especially the expert Tempest.
And you prefer your Boulder over your Jericho?
Yeah. I think Jericho is more a PvE unit for me. I know it's strong, but I think the Boulder, it doesn't hit air, but it's massive.
When I use Event and Onslaught, it's Boulder all the way.
A Boulder actually is one of the few units that can survive a Juggernaut shell.
That's what I wanted to get to. I tend to use my Jericho, but Jericho is much more suited to go out and attack with than he is really to be a defending unit. It's wasted to leave him in your base. So I agree. When you taught me that, the Boulder is a better unit. So just a little good thing to say.
I'm not sure. Maybe I should put in an extra cryo here and there, but that's always the thing. If you put out a new base, you always have to see. You have to twitch and tweak a little bit here and there, and that's what happened every time. If I put out a new base, you get attacked. You see, okay, well, this is something I don't like, so you adjust. Every time you adjust, you make it better.
Yeah, I'm screen share now. I can show you my Boulder. I only have 2 of the gold tech, but those are very important, I think. They're fully upgraded. You can see that it has damage against vertical at 90% while stationary, and the clip compression 6 shoots all, but that's more for the attack now. But those thing I have on here, just the best I have of the tech. But this is a good beast. It's a very strong weapon, expert.
So why do you use heavy ordnance? You use it as a base defender?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's the reason, because it's slower now, because it takes out I think 30% of the movement speed, but it gives much more damage.
Well, yeah, it's always depending on how you use it. For instance, if in my previous base design, I had multiple howlers. Howlers are shopped differently, and the ones that were actually just in my base for hold position, I didn't shop them with speed because I wanted them to defend the position. But the ones that are that I had to take on units outside the base, they were shopped with speed because I wanted them to be fast, and of course DPS to take out the unit as fast as they can.
Yes, I see. I can work these up also, and there are so many things that you forget to go back, but these should also go to max. But the goals tech I have here, I got that a while back, I think, in the beginning. And the Boulder, the ordinary Boulder, was the first one I won in the event when I started playing back again. I think that was in August last year.
I like the fact that Kixeye is bringing back more tech into the game. I'm glad they listen.
Yeah,
but I'm happy. The only reason I want to play the Onslaught is because of all the extra tech.
Yeah. So here you can see what they have on base guard. And I have only one of those, but hopefully that will come back now, maybe in the event store with the expert Tempest.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I only have one expert Tempest.
Yeah.
But I have two of those, and they're not bad really, because they are level 30, I think, yes. And they are strong too.
Those advanced, they're nasty too.
Yeah. And I have one of those Hades in, but that's only, I think, rank 7 or 8. I'm going to finish those also. But I use that for speed. If I'm online, you know, they're very fast. You can run them around compared to the Tempest because they are slow. And this one I just have for fun, but it can really take a beating. Not as strong as Scoopy showed in when I was in a hangout a couple of weeks ago, because his, I think, can take like 8 or 10 shots from the Juggernaut.
Then he got adaptive body armor, the gold one.
Gold. He's got gold everything.
But he run the go-go bar and he put in the Juggernaut, and it was amazing to see how much beating that little unit can take.
Yep.
But he say if he was online, he will just run that around in a way to confuse them.
If you got the golden adaptive body armor, the unit will take no more than 10% of its own health. So if you shop it with the adaptive body armor, it can take on 10 shots.
Yes, that was.
And if you have the silver one, it's taking no more than 20% of its own health.
Okay. I don't have either gold or silver.
Did you say flush?
It's, you know, that is what is one of the fun things in this game. You know, you have to read and see all the text and decide what you want to put on your shit.
Yeah.
But I'm just about to start that defense level.
A kid or daughter to be named Floss, because it's just a weird name. What's your name? My name's Floss.
Who's that in the background?
It was just like
Daba, I got him.
I was going to heard Al Akbar. But I'm gonna do this 20 nano. I'm not sure how we're gonna go, but we can just see it.
Hey, I had a question. Are Hades good for moving targets?
They have a speed. And if
They have speed in control, but they stop the fire, I believe.
Will the shot reach a target if it's moving fast, like a Phantom?
No.
No, I believe they'll overshoot it.
He wants to know if it's a guaranteed shot. I'm not sure. I haven't even built one. I'm upgrading them, but I haven't built one and I haven't been testing it. So I don't know if it's got shoot and run capabilities, and I don't know if it's a guaranteed hit.
So it'll be mostly good for stationary targets when it shoots?
I'm not sure.
I know it has to stop to shoot, so. But if it's already stopped and the Phantom flies over your base, it's going to get hit.
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
What unit?
Hades.
The Hades, is it a guaranteed hit if it fires?
Yes.
And
Like is the bullet speed fast enough to shoot a Phantom that's moving?
In theory,
Yeah.
it should be able to, because I
well,
I
that's
had a Cyclone I was testing, and I kept getting hit with the Keepside ones. When it first came out, I was in a base, and I went to go pick one off with the radio tower, and I hit him. Then as I was pulling away, he hit me.
That'll be good then. I'm gonna have to build mine.
so, this is actually my main platoon. I got the Inferno. Well, first of all, I got maxed. I got the storage max, so I got 3,000 space. And I
I'm
got
still
the
upgrading mine.
I got the Inferno because it's still the meat shield. I got the Legion because you can deploy the duplicates. It's pretty good. I got the Juggernaut, and I got the Hydra. I like the Hydra very much.
What
And
level is your Hydra?
32. 32. And I get Grenadiers and with Sheila. So
I have a question about concerning the boulder. Do you know that new tech you can buy now for 400k? Do you think that is any good?
Do they offer a pack for the boulder?
No, it's in the gear store. They put out a new one.
Baldur's Acid Rain tech.
Yeah.
Their special tech.
On the gear store.
The acid rain you need for boulder.
So think about what high health unit that Baldur would be going against is actually affected by corrosion. He would be facing the Inferno, Growler, Legion, Hydra. Is any of those affected by any of those?
Already have it, Dutch?
I got the acid rain. I don't use it much because my Baldur is in my base defense. But if you use it, it will cut through anything. It's pretty good.
I have considering buying it.
Well, I think my opinion is if you can get stuff for medals or through bases, get as much as you can because what you got, you got.
Especially tech for the new faction units.
Yeah.
In one weird way, Kixeye is trying to keep people from getting really the tech that matters. With the heroes they offer now. Give a package with the tech that really matters. Like in a way they did with the Pandora, you got a lot of gold tech, but you didn't get the Wingman, for example.
Actually, the pack that they offered with the Howlet tech, not only the Howl, but also the Nimbus tech.
Yeah, that was good.
I knew that it was in a gear store because I bought the pack after it came out in the gear store. And why did I do it? I still thought it was a pretty good deal because we got a lot of tech, golden tech, and if you have to calculate that every golden tech is 50k medals, I still thought it was a good buy. Instead of grinding through all the Highway C.19, I just bought the pack.
Yeah.
I believe it was somewhere about 45 golden techs for the Howlers and for the Nimbus.
Yeah, I bought that package too. That was a good deal.
I don't think I bought that one.
Oh yeah, here it is. Acid Rain. Yeah, it's good. It's a good one.
Yeah.
The two things that I've noticed, not withstanding PvP, but when it comes to the game, collecting resources, doing events, the two things that Wrong Thinkers development team have left as standard, well, three I should say, standard advantages for us players. Fire, like we see in the zombie events. Any fire damage thing tends to be decent. Corrosion tech tends to be beneficial, and shock tech tends to be beneficial. Although shock is starting to fall by the wayside because more and more units are coming out that are resistant to shock or have anti-shock tech that you can put on them. But when the units first come out, shock is a huge Achilles heel. Corrosion mostly because once the effect is on, it slowly just keeps eating and eating and eating. It's not something that is like a bullet that hits you and you're done. It has a time limit of effect where it continues to take damage. And the way Wrong Thinker and the team have put this specific attribute into the game, other things benefit from the corrosion application. So even though your unit, say, shot it and put the corrosion on it, and that unit died, the other units that might not have corrosion tech are still doing a moderate amount more damage because the corrosion effect is already applied to the unit you're attacking. So that's where the Acid Rain, I think, has a little bit of a benefit.
Yep.
But it's not just the Acid Rain itself. It's the fact that it gives you the buff, and then the other things benefit from it.
You know, what I really think is a bit strange is that when they do the package, okay, you can buy all the heroes, but they start at level 1. So that's a big disadvantage because you really need that rank to them. And they're trying to rank all those heroes, that will take ages. So if they give that package with the heroes that there was like the Pandora level 30 straight away, that would be awesome.
All I really need is Jericho from that package, so I'm not gonna buy it.
No, and the Jericho that really needs that special tech. If not, it's almost worthless.
Yeah, there was the discussion with the with SF units. There's only a handful that have value. Kira and Sheila have value. Brother Jeremiah doesn't really have that much power anymore in the game. There's too much that outdo it. And again, when you're looking at Kira and Sheila, without the bars, without their specific guns, they don't carry enough punch to be more beneficial to even have than Liberators and Acolytes. It's obvious you're going to see old stuff return as package deals. But when they do that, what they missed the mark, specifically on this package deal, what they missed the mark on was the SF are good for a lower level player, in your 20s, for those that don't have it. But it is more of a nostalgia grab than it really is a benefiting unit, because you can do way more with other things tactically than you can with a lot of the SF units. And again, without Pandora's Wingman and the fact that it wasn't, the top rank Pandora, that's the only reason I didn't get it, because the only thing in the entire package that was at all for me would have been Pandora with the Wingman tech at a higher level than she came at. Yep. And the tech that I would just add to what I already had for SF units, but I already have all the other stuff. Yep. So without advanced Pandora, okay, expert Pandora would have been better, because all the rest of the units were supposed to be expert units, right? So this should have been expert Pandora. They could have even added another 100 gold to it and given us the Wingman and expert level Pandora and made it a $40 or whatever instead of $30 buy.
You can see at my screenshot now, I got the Kara and the Sheila. That's way back, also maybe August or something last year. And my Kara is level 9 and my Sheila is level 5, because that took too much time,
Yeah, and that's the point. I mean, look, I got to say, I want to...
And you see here, the gold level, max 737 if I want to coin it.
Yeah. I just want to say, I want to thank Skipjack. I want to thank... Was it you, David, that did the art?
That art? No, I did not, actually.
Well, I wish forgive me for my alcoholic, inebriated, dead brain cells not knowing who was who helped Skipjack out with the idea.
I was helping her out with that. I'm not sure if Kixeye actually decided to do their own.
Well, no, they did their own, but I'm saying for the presentation that she gave to them about things. So I want to thank you, and I want to thank Skipjack directly that this is epic that they did this this Valentine's themed package deal at all. So that, I don't want to slight Kixeye. Yeah, I'm a whiny bitch when I say I wish it was the expert level and I wish it was this. But by far, overall, all things considered, it's an absolutely epically excellent package. For certain people, myself being one of them, it's not appealing to me, but that's fine. I have a low-level account where I would grab $30 and throw it on there to put this shit on my other account in a heartbeat if I actually cared to try to keep that account running. I mean, that's a level 16 account, and it literally has nothing. It only has elite riflemen, heavy gunners. The highest tank it has is the Rhino. That's it. So, in fact, I ranked it up to 17 recently. But for that account, in a friggin' split second, that this is an absolute must get package for an account like that, or even a mid-level 20. But yeah, that's cool. Yeah, see, that's
Somebody's
awesome.
getting messages.
Yeah, that's me.
All right.
Don't worry, it's all above board. But
I had a
I just wanted
question.
to say I wanted to put it out there. You know, we have to thank Skipjack and thank David, and I hate to have to thank David. Fuck you, David.
Fuck off. Fuck
No,
off.
but for for putting forth this stuff to Kixeye so that they do stuff like this, because it's really hard to convince them to go that extra, I'm not going to say extra mile, but that extra 10 steps and give back. They've given us a lot recently, and that's to the credit of Wrong Thinker. When Dina's Shredder Tech was last chance, and I was one of those that put a forum post out that said, look, it's broken. You can't make it last chance. You can't force people to buy something that they're not positive is going to work. So hold it off and make it last chance in the next event. Don't make it this event until you've proven that you can fix the tech. And in fact, they fixed the tech before the event went on. So people who purchased it in the event actually did get a working tech, but they still had the ethics and the resolve to throw it into the next event. Stuff like that Wrong Thinker does, that people like Skipjack, our queen, our voice to our community on that side, and Jordan, now that he's back and being a good community, and well, as far as the forums goes, a forum moderator, and stuff that Shadow Killer does when he takes everybody out there watching today, and that'll watch this again later, takes your opinions, takes your stuff, takes our everyday gameplay and presents it like David and Skipjack did for this, to get these packages, not just for us who might find something useful, or me who found nothing useful, but for somebody like 101 other players, that this is an epic, awesome pick. I have players in my little group. Yeah, Dr. Phil. I have players in my group that desperately needed, Pandora and any kind of Pandora and tech, because they didn't have anything nearly like that. So that's a huge bonus to them. So thank you from the bottom of my heart, Skipjack, and from the sweat on my taint, David, for putting this out for all the players. Because Kixeye doesn't normally do stuff like this unless you kind of twist their arm a little bit.
And I've been wondering, is she really, really good? Because I've been hearing a lot of stories that she is, but I don't know about it.
She's very powerful, and she can go up against the hunter when she's maxed. And the wingmen do help. I do have the wingmen, but with today's newer stuff like libs and yada yada yada, they're pretty much like a little bit more powerful than the Banshee wingmen. For those of you guys that are bosses like me, been around for a while. And imagine a Banshee wingman, but nowadays with like that our stuff hitting Banshee wingman now, the Wingman X, and it's about along her. So they're good against going up like an AA plasma or a avalanche by itself. Kind of protects her a little bit, but she's also good under your Titan and Sandstorm, whether it's elite or omega, because then that's just 2 more drones I got to fight through. But Pandora by herself, if you ain't got the wingman, throw her under your Titan and Sandstorm for kind of protection and use those drones.
Yeah, I was going to say, with this package, you're going to need your Omega Sandstorm with the drones. And I was going to ask you, because you're better at this, because I don't have either, and I haven't purchased the package. I'm slyly, I'm trying to wait and see what we do with our next, the next season of Infamy and this coming event and everything. But what about the Furies? If you could run the Furies as wingmen with her.
So
that would be a pipe
level-
dream.
It's too much to try to control.
I got
No,
level
I mean-
ones, level 1 Furies, and I just switched over to them because I realized they hit air and ground as well.
Yeah,
And
I've got 9.
I put mine Pandora with them, and I put my Titan and Sandstorm on top. I send the Titan and Sandstorm first, and I then control my Furies, my Pandora, and whatever. Kind of keep it so this way. The Titan and Sandstorm are just kind of doing their own thing, as long as there's no no Vindicator or Hades. And I hit the attack move, and then I'll then pick off stuff with and I control the whole Fury, Pandora, and if I got room Hailstorms, I control all that as one thing. So this way they all shoot at once and stuff like that. And this way my Pandora and all that junk is protected by the drones. And if anything should take damage, it would be my Titan and Sandstorm, which they can take a little bit of damage.
So that does sort of work out. But again, you're controlling the whole fanfare. What were you saying, David, about the pipe dream, though?
having a Fury wingman.
No. I was saying using the Furies as wingmen, meaning deploying them and running them side by side with the.
Oh yeah, I would. I think that would be a good tactic, to be quite honest.
Yeah. So for those that do get the package and it doesn't have the wingmen, there's the option. If you've collected Furies, or you can collect them in this upcoming event. If it's in the store, pick up a bunch. Build them if you can hold the thorium to build them, and maybe that's your alternative until the wingman package comes out. If you're willing to spend that kind of money to get just a unit, or spend that kind of money for whatever, maybe 1 or 2 things in that package deal that you actually do need. I have a resolve. Like I say, I'm sustaining from spending any money in the game for a couple more days. But then I'll probably go back to my regular coining schedule of stupidity.
Yeah.
But I don't promote coining, and I don't promote not coining. I just think everybody plays their own bloody way, and if there's a way you can do something without having to spend extra money, I hope somebody helps to share tactics, and that's why I brought that up. Hopefully it would.
The way I spend money in this game is just mostly for the packs, not coins.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much same here. I just I have coin on my account for the packs in case I ever need one. But all right. So, Dutch, you got a missile bastion ready in your thingy? Looks like you have a red exclamation point.
I don't have one set up now.
No, I was saying in your weapons lab. It looks like your weapons lab is full, ready to have one.
Yeah, that's right.
He's saving it.
I'm saving it.
Okay.
He's saving it till tomorrow.
Do you have enough res and crap to last you till Tuesday?
Yes, it should be. Last round, I actually had a visual glitch. I bought one, or at least I ordered one to build, but it didn't.
Did it turn into a Tesla?
No. The count didn't went down. So I thought, oh well, cool. That's a nice glitch for a change. So I didn't gather new resources. So I left it like that. So and when the next time I wanted to actually build another one, it showed the real numbers, and I was too short. So it was not really it was only a visual glitch.
Mm-hmm.
So in other words, Dutch got screwed.
Yeah.
That'll last you 2 days, and you get another 2 days with the res you got there.
Yep.
So that'll be what's it, Saturday?
That should
Sunday,
last
Monday. Yeah, you only got 3 days to worry about.
Yeah, you're good until They come out on Tuesday.
Usually I put them out when we go on PvP, or when I think, or when we get attacked or something like that.
Because a tip for the Bastion bases is fill up on Thursday, and so you fill up, build one, fill up, build another one, have another one in queue, and then fill up again. If you started on
Yeah.
Thursday, you'll last over the weekend.
You'll
And then I
last
run
until-
one on
you'll-
Tuesday, and then I fill up on Thursday again.
If you wanna run a 24-hour anti-missile bastion and a 24-hour terrible 2-ups, that's expensive business, and that will keep you busy.
Not really.
It is, but I mean, you hit 3 metal bases a week, and then that'll pay for it.
I hear not really from David.
Because it'll be 45k metals, and they cost you 40. It's 6,000 a day. That's 42. And then if you're getting your PvP payout too, that's like free PvP's free metals if you're over 45k or 42. You just go out and hit dead bases up until 2,000 infamy, and then you get I think it's 60k, and then you get 42 for free.
So if you got a tight base like this, there's not that much space for trophies, and when you got it more spacious, you got more space for trophies, and you can use the trophies not necessarily to hide, but because any good player knows exactly what people got behind the trophies, but it makes it more difficult to target it. Oh yeah, I need to reset my rally point.
Yep. That'd be good to show here too. They got a lot of people asking how do you move your Twin Titans? Terrible twos.
Well, okay, you click on your storage stand, and one of the tabs, set rally point. Right now, I don't have any Twin Titan ups running, but I know it's approximately here. But when you got your Twin Titan ups running, you can test it simply with your go-go bar.
You should
I
buy
thought
one
they-
and test it for YouTube.
I thought the op just spawned in the middle of your base the whole time.
Your Twin Titans and your Scorpion Ops and all those, they will spawn in the center of the base only during onslaughts, or I want to say certain rounds of events. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But during any other time, during a PvP, general, it will spawn where your rally point is designating it to spawn. And that goes with a lot of units. Like if you have your crap, you set where you want your unit, and if you set it on aggressive or whatever, although that's the dumbest thing you do, if your base is flattened or if it succeeds in defending it, when they come back into your base, everything will return back to that original starting point.
That's what I always got, the overcapacity. I don't know how it always happens.
Max, turn your cheat engine off.
You're over cap where?
When you get done a go-go bar test, let's say you put it to full 3,000 even, you'll leave your go-go bar, go back in, and it'll say you got like 3,600 space. Even though no more units are added.
1K.
Somebody's watching Cups.
Yeah, I just opened my window and looked outside to make sure I'm not going to be on the next episode.
That would be my daughter, actually.
What's she going to do? What's she going to do when they come for you?
For me? They're never going to come for me.
When they come to pick up her dad.
Yeah, that ain't happening. Hey, Dutch.
Yeah.
My OCD is kicking in. You got one wall at a place on your where your missile bastion will go.
Yeah. No.
It looks all fine to me.
Yeah, it looks off.
No. It isn't.
Okay.
Well,
Actually, the one thing I can see.
no, wait, I know what you're saying, but the anti-missile bastion footprint is not really fitting with the walls. But
Okay.
I got it like this now.
I see. They're both kind of. You got two walls and okay.
I
never
don't.
mind.
I prefer not to have too much space. I just want it righty and tidy.
Yep.
Yeah, the anti-missile bastion doesn't fit walls nicely. I think it goes like 3.5 walls. And so I was like, seriously?
It sucks. Oh well. I like the base layout.
Buildings like that drive my OCD crazy.
Yeah, this does drive my OCD crazy.
Yes.
Like I think it's a power plant also that doesn't have a perfect wall.
So open up.
Test it.
Ah, there it is.
What?
So yeah, I think it's perfectly covering.
Yep.
There you go.
So
And it will require them to waste and kill off their phantom.
oh yeah, but no. Well, what the Terrible 2 does too is when it's hovering, you cannot make a really pinpointing strafe run. Because if you, for instance, if you got your anti-missile bastion right here behind, yes, then if you want to use your phantom, waste it on that, you have to really start right next to the anti-missile bastion in order to take it out before your phantom is shut down.
Right.
But if you have your titans hovering above it, you cannot start here. You have to start here, and then once the bombs are reaching there, it probably already got shut down out of the air.
Yeah.
And also, what I would like to show, what I got in my bunkers, I got 3 liberators, all with the range. I got 2 commandos for both range and burst fire, and I got the preserver with the shock ordnance.
Okay, guys, I got a hit on Tinder, so I have to go to the local pub.
All right, we're gonna shut down anyways.
So
we're
it
gonna
was
wrap it
very
up.
interesting, and it was a good show. I got many good of my question answered, so that's cool. So I will see you guys later.
Oh, no problem. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, cool. Bye bye.
Can I do my part real quick?
Yeah. You want to do something?
Yeah, I wanted to. The stuff we discussed.
Yes, of course. I'm going to stop my screen share. I will put you on presenting.
I can't hide my sector. Bummer. All right, my being presented, whatnot.
I'll tell you in a second. Well, it's switching between us right now, but
There
okay,
you
there you
go.
are. You're presenting.
And now's the time of the show for Daba's Dalliance, where Daba will tell you some good tips and tricks for the stuff and whatever. I should have really written a good line for that. But next week there will be a good line, a better line. But yeah, Daba's Dalliance, that works. So,
Daba's Dalliance.
Shut up, David.
Hey.
Go back to being Vanna White and just wait until Pat there tells you to turn the
Let
fucking light
Dubba
on.
does do his thing.
hey, I had like
All right,
5 minutes
Daba.
to think of a name, so I was looking into thesaurus for whatever, but Daba's Dalliance, there we go.
We love it. Take it
All
away,
right,
Dubba.
so today we'll be talking about Hiding Resin Thor, good base defense tunes, good PvP tunes, good tunes outside of base to protect, and plat sniping. And the good thing is, pretty much all these are done with this tune right here. So, I like to have, and this is, again, yeah, I guess I should preface this. This is for your medium and low high levels, because obviously most people have Inferno, Growler, Legion, you name it, inside their PvP tune. But this is for like the 30 to 40 who doesn't have all these big toys. They started maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, whatever. Libs are pretty cheap in the gear store, not the gear store, the event store. Howlers, you can get them in the event. You could use regular howlers or whatever. I like to have these because a lot of people 30 to 40 Titan. This will be very rough to kill for like even if somebody's got an Inferno or whatever, it's gonna take some serious damage. Normally I used to run Acolytes, just these. And then somebody came at me with an Omega Titan, and so then I've been running one Howler in each one. And so this is the tune that I would generally have around my base to protect. Now this, where is it? This one. This one's got Acolytes. I put this one over here on the right because these are my stronger ones. And so, no, not that one. Where was it? This one right here. I know I got more than one of these. There we go. Nope, that ain't it. Pursuit Kickside. There we go. Acolytes do really good damage on O Titan, O Sandstorm. And Acolytes you can get in by doing the event. The same thing with, again, Howler. As you get Howler, you can go around air with it pretty good. And so that'll just decimate air. Now, if you have a good friend, you can have them surround like that. I just so happen to get lucky, and because now they've only got one entry point, because have your friend turn on the transport chopper thingy, and then they think they're online, and so now they think they have to enter through this spot right there. Most people that are infamy hunters, they want to try to get in and out as quick as possible. Next tip is leave one spot open, because if you're in the middle of the map or whatever, chances are if you've got heavies here and then just one spot open, chances are they'll attack there. You leave that as your weakest. That's the strongest point in your base. You know, that's the worst spot for them to deploy. Now we got PvP tunes outside of these. All right. So now a lot of people, they get around and they're bored. They don't have anything to do. Well, you go collect res, collect floor. Each one of these hammer, each one of those Apollos is 24 million Thor, and each one of them hammers is 50 million Thor. Nope, 40. So when I'm bored, every 3 hours, sorry, I send my Legion clones into a 65, and I get 30 million Thor. Just free and easy. With your torches, if you have torches or scorchers, if you got the legacy pack, one torch holds 40 million res and is 124 space. Scorcher is 187 space, it holds 40 million res as well. If you have ultra tanks are where are my ultra tanks? There we go. Ultra tanks, they're 5 days, or 4 days, in 18 hours, but they take a little bit more space. They hold a little bit less res, but they give you better time. Usually what I would do is I'd put an ultra tank at the front and then all this crap. Because see, right now these are building in a day, so I gotta cancel one every single day. And so when you cancel this, let's say I need a bunch of res. I'll cancel like 3 of these. And alright, so maybe we'll get to see a live PvP thing.
Mothin's gonna lose his hair.
Where is Mothin? Where's Mothin? Alright, I think he spawns at the top right. That's another thing, know your enemy. So
Know where they spawn at.
So his ground has to spawn here on the right, because that's the hole that, and I doubt he would have hit the other. See, look, there's a shadow. There's a shadow and there's a drone. That's his O Titan. I can't get up to it though.
He's thinking.
No, you can get up there. You can hit it, but keep your distance. Keep moving.
Won't I aim for the drones first?
Nope.
There you go.
Run,
Now draw
baby,
back
run.
down to you.
He's already got it down to 2 ticks. Now, if you really want to piss him off, you hit the retreat button.
He's got a damage to Titan anyway.
Nice things about the Howlers, they don't have that
Oh, no.
much repair time.
What is it? I think like an hour or less.
I think it's like, yeah, an hour, a little bit more than an hour.
He wants this Howler. That's why I'm keeping him moving. And actually,
Get it.
what I should, yep. I know he's probably got a Cyclone. I'm going to put it like right there.
You see, I think, okay, he's up the top left corner.
Here he comes. Go get him. Go get him.
I was going to say, during that, I would have ran up with your units, stuck them up at that spawn point, because you knew where he's going to spawn from, and then you would have dropped right on top of it and you would have taken him out.
Take it out. Take it out. Go ahead.
The Howler
Give
might die
him-
before he finishes off the Titan.
Yep, but the drug.
Yep. Now he's gonna send in the Liberator Army.
March forward, my
Lose the title.
minions.
There you go. Run, run, run. Pull him down to the Liberators. Almost.
He's got almost 16 hours repair. If it's that 16 hours.
It's over.
He dropped in the Cyclones and retreated him real fast.
So, yeah.
Watch your backside. Watch your backside. If he drops the Cyclones again, he's going to come in from behind you.
Hey, you should now hit retreat because you already finished his Titan.
Oh, yeah. I don't. Yeah, he doesn't have an O sandstorm.
The Titan was already dead.
Yeah, it was half dead.
It showed half dead.
Can't you put half your libs where it's air spawns and half where it's toon spawns?
So a lot of people will do that. But here's the reason why I don't put it on the same spot. It's because on their air spawn, because I want them to come in and hit me. Because once they hit me, I'm doing damage to them. If I just put all my crap where their air spawns, chances are they're not gonna spawn.
See, my plat sniping, I would just drop a missile on you, and most of your stuff would take a lot of damage beforehand. I put it out of the spawn. I spread them out. I spread, like, if... Here's the catch-22. The person attacking you, if you're defending, the person attacking you has the ability to kind of hide, because they can retreat and come back. So by putting half of them on the spawn point, if you know exactly where they're spawning from, you're getting them before they have a chance to maneuver around to a backside, especially if they're dropping in Cyclones or dropping in, an Omega Titan.
But the thing is, if you know your enemy spawn point of his air, you don't put your unit right on top of the spawn point. You just keep a little bit distance, not too far, but close enough. So when he's deploying his, for instance, his Titan, your unit doesn't take the load of rockets that the Titan shoots. You know.
Yeah, I would do
right behind the spawn point.
Well, I do mine to the left and to the right. So I'll do I will take a third of the platoon, put it on the left-hand corner. For example, if he's spawning from the top corner of the screen, the left-hand side about, a little bit down from the top, I'd put a third of my platoon. The the right top side, about a third from the top. Left corner, I'd put a little bit of my platoon, and then I'd keep the rest in the center. Now, the big problem is if he ends attack and he's quick enough to start attack again, you start all over again because your units will immediately respawn in the center of the game field again.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage that the attacker has over the defender. They can keep ending attack and restarting no matter where you put your units. Once they end attack and start the attack again, you're going to go back to that center cluster and all your crap's going to be in the middle again. And if they get in quick enough and attack quick enough and deployed quick enough, you can't move back out to those outer edges and hide waiting for his air to come back in. And there's a prime example. And I've used that to my advantage because I keep platoons of infiltrators because you can't see them. So I'll move my infiltrator all the way to one corner, away from his spawn point and away from his air, and he'll waste time trying to find it because they all inevitably go to the center. They'll run their owls to the center. They'll run a cyclone to the center. They'll run whatever to the center, trying to get the infiltrators to uncloak. Meanwhile, I've already moved mine way off to a corner somewhere. And while that's over there, taking away his time and making him waste time trying to find it, I'm attacking another platoon or defending from another guy or attacking his base. But
you got to be online to pull out that
yeah.
trick.
Oh yeah, again, that's Daba's online, Mothin's online, and they're doing it. And this is friendly.
Yep.
If Mothin really was attacking somebody with spite, he wouldn't have wasted away that kind of stuff. He would have been more strategic instead of just goofing around. So.
Yep.
Hey, will putting it on Ruby work? Finding the infiltrator?
No.
No.
No, you gotta fly within the uncloaking distance.
Yep.
All right. Because I don't use infiltrators and I know nothing about them.
But that's what Venom says. If he's online, he moves his unit to a corner, so you have trouble finding it, or maybe don't find it at all. But if the enemy is offline, you will find it in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if you do it just right, you can end attack and start attack before they even realize what happened.
Yep.
And
I mean, there's certain things this show is about tricks and tips, and Dutch is going to continue on doing these, I'm sure, for a lot longer because there's always stuff to learn, and the more units we get, the new units will have new tactics to explain and express. But there's a lot of this that you just really, as a player, have to be in game and just learn from doing. You can explain things and you can show things, but until you're actually controlling them. Go ahead.
And yes, the O-Titan was half dead when I used it.
So let's say I want to upgrade.
So
let's say I want to upgrade.
Kill a fresh O-Titan. Sorry.
Let's say I got 225 million. I only got 40 million. I could just open my war factory, cancel a couple of these, and you're not going to get the res immediately. A lot of people, they will refresh. But if you attack anything, PvP plat or res, not res, like a thorium, not a PvE base,
That's
then
an old school platoon.
it'll refresh it. Oh, I know who this person is, so I know they ain't gonna care. But you just attack it.
If those
and then
were
mysteriously your res will come back.
If they were Vank commanders and hover commanders, that would have been my old school plat. When I do events, that's what I use. I use the package that we got not a couple of packages ago, where you got all those commander units, and I threw together. I replaced all my original Vanquishers with the Vanquisher commanders that I had, and then I replaced the hovers with the hover commanders, and reshopped them. And that's what I used just to go out and tool around and pretend I'm back being a level 30 when it was fun.
All right, I apologize for giving out wrong information. It has to be a PvE base, not a PvP attack. I just went in my base and it failed. You don't even have to deploy, you just attack and end attack. And then go back into your base. And something that's good if you're out fighting, I'm gonna go surround this base. All right, there we go. I'm gonna act like this Veercraft 80 is my base. I want to show you how you should set up your tunes. If you're doing long range fighting and you need to send your tunes home immediately, if you're just like infamy hunting or whatever, a lot of people set their tunes up like this.
All right, well, while you're waiting for those to get up there, Paul asked what we thought about the Pandora bundle. We talked about that earlier in the show. Basically, what we said was, if you need it, if it's units you don't have, it's worthwhile. But on its own, if only thing you're going for is the Pandora without the Wingmen tech, which is not included in the package, it's not necessarily worth the money. It's not worth the value. So you might want to, wait it out and see what they offer.
Might
in
be offered an
events.
event sometime.
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of people, they block off their base by putting 6 tunes around it. And if I hit retreat, or if I hit this fella to retreat, it'll be all blocked off. So if you put a little hole like that around your base, then it'll cost you a little more tunes. 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cost you 9 tunes, so you're stuck with 1, but then you're able to retreat that 1. And if you have your friend or something, you can put a ring around like that too and use up some of the tunes. And if you have like a jump buddy, so if you're infamy hunting, you should always go to jump buddy so you can watch each other's bases.
Well, I will say this real quick, based on what you're showing. This is a tactic that I've used to defend my base as well as to defend friends' bases. When you're limited to the number of tunes you have, say you've been out and you've been playing and you've been suiciding a lot of your stuff because you're stupid and can't play like me, and you only have a limited number of tunes, but your friends are getting attacked and you want to defend them, and you can't specifically surround their entire base. If you are located and you're lucky enough, after the recent Kixeye, sector reevaluation or optimization, what they wanted to call it, we do get a lot of bases on certain days that just cluster and just cover the map. If you're lucky enough where the base that you're at or the base that you want to defend, your friend's base, happens to be surrounded by event bases or rogue oil or metal or whatever, you can do sort of a semi-ring of fire tactic where you attack that rogue. You don't actually attempt to destroy it. You hold the rogue. And for every rogue base, you can use 2 tunes. Your tunes will be safe. And those 3 hexes surrounding your friend's base are now a wall against that person getting in to attack your friend's base or getting in to attack your base. So it'll help to limit, not totally eliminate the attack, but it helps to limit the direction in which the attacker can attack your friend's base or yours. So if you can block him from the southwest corner and the northeast corner, now he's only got a couple of options where he can send a platoon in. It also reduces the number of platoons he can send in. He can't send 5, 1 or 2. So it's a benefit and a good tactic if you're online and your friends are offline and you see this going on and you can get there fast enough. Or if you're online and you see them coming or they've alerted that they're coming because they're stupid enough to post it in global. That is a really good external base defense tactic that I've used in the past.
All right, now so here we are back in the base, and after I attacked that rogue, I got my resources back. And so
what usually also helps with that is just refresh your game.
Yep, refreshing works, but I like to attack the rogue just because it seems to take shorter. Like, it doesn't seem to take as long as like refreshing, especially if I got a rogue right outside my base. See, I got 200 million excess. I dropped too many of these, so you just go back and build some more. And then if you want, you can actually cancel these, and these pay out generally instantly. And then you can actually push these up over there. This way it'll go up to 20, and it'll give you 1. Notice they don't combine, which is something I wish they would. You have to cancel this stuff in between. And what I've been doing lately, I'm not doing it now, but the tip, have either your vehicles for res and your infantry for Thor, or the other way around. I think vehicles for res, you can hold a lot more res with vehicles, and you can hold a lot of Thor and infantry like these two. And so you build a random bunch of these guys, and once they get out to about 12 days or so, cancel it, and you can hold res that way, because each Liberator is 6 million, and each Acolyte is 15. And I did the math. Each one is the same Thor per space, so it doesn't really matter which one you use. And so, yeah, those are some good.
Yeah, because the thorium vehicles are instant builds. so you got to be careful. Although they would hold an excellent amount of Thor, being in the 40 million or whatever value that they are. The
Purifiers hold the most.
Yeah,
Purifiers hold the most of 50 million a pop.
But they're
so expensive,
second, right? Well, you could, as long as you start a long day build beforehand. For example, if you started I don't know, like I hate to say it, but Warhorse or something, and then behind that filled up with purifiers.
Yep.
As a vehicle build, that's another way, because those you don't have to create so many, and they can take huge chunks of your Thor. If you're under attack or you're about to get attacked, that is your fastest way of dumping a ton of Thor into storage. Hopefully, it gets there before the share or the save
The person hits
kicks
you.
in, so you don't lose it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you
Also,
have to
you want to make
have.
sure you pay attention to your builds that you have in front.
Yeah.
Because I missed a couple, and as you can see, I have 128 Liberators and 36 Acolytes because of this. I accidentally
Yeah.
built them because I wasn't paying attention.
And
There you go.
the down part is once they're built and you scrap them, you don't get
You don't get anything back.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
That's why you gotta. If you don't want them, be careful. About,
Well, at least the thing that you slipped up on and built was a useful unit. It's not like you built 15, friggin'
Jackrabbits.
operators. Yeah.
you can build Jackrabbits with thorium. There you go. The Omega Jackrabbit.
Oh, could you imagine?
All right, now
Charlie's favorite unit.
one final thing that I did not do for this specific reason, so I could point it out. Always, when you're attacking PvP stuff, always put it in a PvP toon. You do that by click the go to your platoons, go to PvP, create. You can throw anything you want in there.
There's another way.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
if you wanted to build one from scratch, that's easy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can open up the platoon you're in and go to the top right, and it'll automatically be able to swap from a standard platoon like Zulu there or this one. Click on where it says standard. The drop-down menu will give you the options of PvP raid or standard flat, and it'll instantly go when you save it to your PvP tabs.
Yep. And so that's two different ways that you can do it. And And also, tip for PvP: if you're rocket buggy sniping or whatever, keep rocket buggies here and use these ones as well as these, because then these will repair along with these. So if I send one to him here, this one will repair as well as this one. And then the benefit to putting in a PvP toon is you get should be 50% reduction in time. So on repair time. It definitely would help. So this, for instance, this one here that Muffin so graciously hits was an hour and 20, well, probably about an hour 30. So it'd be about 40 minutes or so if I had it in a PvP team. But yeah, I've got nothing better to heal, so why not? And so I want to give a shout out to that to Muffin for
Wasting his Titan.
No. For allowing me to test my Liberators and stuff against his Omega Titan to show the viewers how well this stuff is against Omega Titan.
It wasn't wasting Omega Titan when it was already half dead when I started.
Bullshit.
Exactly. He was testing it. He was allowing our viewers to see the power of Liberators and stuff.
And hey, at least I got the balls to waste my shit. What do you got to say there? Come on, Charlie. What do you got to say? Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. You got the balls to do it?
Got him.
He doesn't have balls. He's got crepes. Baguettes.
I think he lacks
cream
something down there.
He's got grapes or crepes?
Crepe. Suzette.
No, he's got grapes, marbles.
I don't think he's
Italians
I don't
got
think
grapes.
he's down to utilize his tools to experiment for a game. Yeah.
We'll keep that to yourself.
I'm just happy to see Charlie in game. I know what it's like to be friggin',
You know what it's like to be French?
No, I know what it's like to French kiss.
Doba. That was
Alrighty
it?
then, TMI.
Charlie, do you know what it's like to
Alright.
French kiss?
You're
Ask
done?
your wife.
What?
My final
Don't have
Charlie.
one, thank you.
my final tip is have fun, enjoy the game, and just come back next week when we have Daba's Dalliance again. No, 2 weeks from now. Sorry about that.
2 weeks
Next
from now.
week is Rave. Next week we're going to be burning a Sector X.
All right.
Hopefully next
And
week.
actually, no. In 2 weeks
So,
would be the event. I think so. I don't know. 3 weeks. I don't know. Just
4
come
weeks.
back and watch.
So,
Hopefully, Dutch's base design will be tested in the rave next week. So those
yeah, I
who
will
watched
keep
him
it.
build it,
I
you
will
can
keep it.
you'll see how well it holds up.
I will keep my base design. I will use it in the next PvP, and so you can see if it's a hit or a shit. So yeah, I think it's time to wrap it up. We go to the shoutouts. So Moton, you got any shoutouts?
I do want to raid Sector 49. And to 153. Handle your business, or we will be handling it permanently for you guys. That's all.
That's great. Soul Reaper, you still on there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
You got any shoutouts?
Well, first, I just wanted to thank you guys for letting me be on the on this, and I got a lot of useful information.
All right. David, you got any shoutouts?
Douche.
Yeah. Shout out to Daba for his dalliance in all the stuff that he just said. It went in one ear and out the other for me, but that's besides the point.
People love, man. I really do.
Shout out to Moffin for losing his Titan to
No,
Daba.
no. He was testing it. He didn't lose
Yeah,
it. He
no,
was
he
testing
wasn't testing it. He lost it. Admit it. He refuses. Shout out to Venom and you, Dutch, for doing your 2 base designs. I know you're going to perfect them here after the show and redo them. Shout out to the panel and everybody on YouTube watching, and all the thousands and thousands and thousands and screw it, we'll just say millions watching it later. SK, wherever the hell you are, hopefully you're relaxing, drinking a beer or something. Other than that, that's about it.
Oh, cool. Next one in line is Venom.
All right, I know we ran about a half hour longer than we wanted to with the show, but I'm happy to say that I want to shout out to you for putting in this idea, for doing a real base design show. I know mine wasn't that great, but I was just winging it. Yours is a fair bit better. So shout out to you and your base design. Hope it holds up well. Shout out to David for, again, putting in that art with Skipjack. Shout out to her. To the bottle of Summer's Eve vinegar and water that's sitting on David's desk. A shout out to that for keeping him douchey clean. To my wife for putting up with me, and to SK for keeping this show. And the last thing to you, Eric, because I can't remember your name, even though it was mentioned like 14
Destroyer.
seconds ago. Destroyer, bad. Man, awesome for you to share. I hope you take a little bit of this, and hope everybody takes a little bit of this information and shares it with everybody else too. So share this feed, make sure people watch it, and come see us or see them next week in the PvP. Rave. Peace.
Whatever.
Just whatever. Any other drink.
Ghostface Killer.
My shout goes to Muffin. I've got a new name for you now. It's not Muffin, it's Motown. Shout out to David. Thanks for your comment on my status earlier, buddy. I appreciate it. Everyone on the panel, just keep doing what you're doing. Everyone, good luck in Onslaught. Just have fun. I'm out.
And Doba.
Did we get Eric yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you went before me.
Oh, it's the second one.
Cool. Just checking on the panel, make sure everyone's paying attention. So, Just wanted to give a shout out to Raid in Sector 49. All these noobs keep drumming in, trying to just be noobs. Sorry, special snowflakes. And they keep failing. So shout out to all the special snowflakes. A shout out to Mothin for showing live how awesome the Liberators are against the O-Titan. Acolytes are even better. But now to the huge big announcement for next week's rave run, whatever. A kind war commander, just like all of us on the panel, he was so gracious enough to give a $20 Facebook card for whoever hits 20 bases up and down. You got to be 4 levels up, 4 levels down. You got to show it live on the rave run, or PM like one of the panel members on it. We tried last night, but nobody had it. So I've been informed by said person that we can offer it again next Friday. Next Friday's rave run at 8 o'clock Eastern. It's 5 o'clock Pacific. And for those across the world,
between 1:30 and 2 o'clock, our time. Mine Dutch.
There you go. Over in French land, it'll be 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
The fuck is a 1/2?
What? So you're going to tell me it's 30 minutes past the hour? Dickhead.
Yes. Speak like a normal human being.
It's
Fucking
1:30. Across the pond, it's 1:30 when they're having tea and crumpets in the morning.
I do say so.
He's French.
Fucking Yanks.
Why don't you just
You're
say
a
it's
bunch of
tea
cunts.
time? Why don't you just say it's
Bunch of
tea time?
Yanks.
Because every damn Brit that I've ever known to go to war has stopped for tea and let the enemy walk all over them.
Okay,
It's tradition.
let Dobba finish his shout out, please.
Sorry.
Off air, we'll have an
So-
argument.
Yeah. Now, obviously, should you win that card, we'll have to check your Legion schematic and all that. Like SK has a new rule. You come on the show, you have to show your Legion schematic. We don't like cheaters. We don't support them here on Unshackled. So yeah, if you win the thing, you got to make sure you're clean. And then you will be PM the code. And I tried very hard to get the code so that I could keep it safe and safe keepings and all that, and just to check it, make sure it works. But this person didn't. So he's definitely not going to give it to a cheater. So that being said, come on, join us and go burn Sector X. If you're not on the Unshackled page, contact one of us. And Dutch, you want to finish, or you want to do your shout out?
Yeah, my shout out goes to YouTube. Thanks all for watching. Shout out goes to the panel, Venom. Thank you for redesigning your base. And like you said before, there's no such thing as good or wrong. You did your piece, and it was awesome. Good base design.
Sure.
Dobba, thanks for your part. Don't forget the next Wednesday night show, and our next Saturday show will be a rave run. The sector is unknown yet. If people got any suggestion, let me know. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. We are
Deuces.
out.